Hey guys, now I know what you're probably thinking right now. You're probably thinking, for a tutorial about audio reduction, this kind of sounds bad, and I will agree with you completely. I have a lot of electronics in my room and my microphone loves to pick up all that noise. But don't despair, just keep listening and keep watching, and I will help you turn the audio in your podcasting and game commentaries from something that sounds like what you're listening to right now into something better. Now, to do this, I'm using a program called Sony SoundForge Pro. Now, you can download the trial from the Sony website, and once you have that installed and ready to go, if you go to your record button, if you go to record button on the left there. Now, for the example today, I'm going to be recording in 48 kilohertz, 16 bits, and mono. Now, my microphone's currently set to record in mono because I find that stereo, for the most part, for commentaries and podcasts, just increases file size. I don't find there's any advantage to it, but whatever makes you happy. For this example, I'll be choosing mono. So if you click this record button here, I'm going to myself record a sample from a quote from Steve Jobs. So here we go. Your time is limited, so don't waste it living someone else's life. Don't be trapped by dogma, which is living with the results of other people's thinking. Okay, I have my recording. Now, for the purposes of the tutorial, and this may be done by you as well because it may help you, I'm going to create a duplicate of this so I can listen to the before and the after. So if I go to edit and select all, that will select everything in this current track. And if I choose copy, I've copied everything in that track now. And if I go to the new, or you can do file and new, I like to do file and new because sometimes I click the wrong button. But moving on, be sure in your new track to have the same values as the old track. So my old track was in 48 kilohertz and 16-bit and mono. So there we go. Now if you choose edit again and then paste in your new track, you should have two duplicate tracks. Now if you like to put them in a nice order, you can choose window and tile horizontally. So you can see they look identical right now and they're all in the right position and stuff. It's nice to compare them and see. Okay, so what we want to do, we want to keep the top track as the original with no noise reduction done at all. And the second track, we want to apply the noise reduction to. So the first thing I'm going to do is apply the noise reduction tool. So if you go to Tools and Noise Reduction, you can see my preset here. But because your audio is different and the noise in your room or your studio or wherever you're recording, in your car, I don't know, is different, let's just apply this again for you. So this will be the way to do it. This is the way I did it originally. If you go to Sys Default for fast computers with a 250 millisecond auto capture, it'll be capturing a noise print for you. But to capture this noise print, you need to go to the preview button. Just let it preview until all your options are able to be modified. I'll show you what I mean. Your time is limited, so don't waste it. You can see all your options are now editable or modifiable, and your capture noise print is unticked, which means it's captured a noise print for you and you can do your thing. Okay, let's recreate that. Excuse me. Let's recreate that. So you want to reduce your noise. Now reducing it by 12 dB I find is not enough. I like to remove it completely. So I just go to reduce noise by 100 dB, which effectively, unless you're a dog, you won't be able to hear it. Maybe not even a dog. Superman maybe? I don't know. Anyway, but what I find this does is it makes your noise a bit tinny. So to offset that, I just choose a nice minus noise bias of 2.5, minus 2.5 rather. And if I put my attack speeds up, it seems to make it just that little bit better. So if I apply that, you'll see that it might have, not have got rid of the noise at the beginning, but we'll do that later. But just let's listen to both tracks starting around here, where I start speaking. Let's listen to the first one. Your time is limited. Your time is limited. Now that may be a subtle difference, but if you turn the audio up, you'll notice it. I can notice it in my headphones because my headphones are of high quality. And if you record at higher volumes, you'll notice it a lot more. Once we've finished and we apply the next effect, you'll really notice the difference between the two tracks, and I hope it'll really help you. But anyway, let's carry on. The second effect I want to apply is a noise gate. If you go to Effects and Noise Gates, now what the noise gate does is after a certain dB, or minus dB in this case, it will totally cut off the sound. Now this is really useful because it can cut off sounds in places in your audio track where you're not speaking. So just to show you more of what it is if you go to your audio track and you zoom in, at the beginning here, this part here is just noise, just background noise. If you keep zooming in, you'll see that it peaks at about minus 36.1. So let's go back again, so they both look the same. Yeah, it peaks at about minus 36.1. So if you go to Effects and Noise Gate, we could put it at 36.1, minus 36.1, and it would totally cut off the sound there. You wouldn't be able to hear that. But for me personally, I like to do minus 28 because I find that it's the best value for my vocals in my room. Experiment with it and you'll find the best value for you. Now let's look at the other options. Your attack time is how fast it takes to kick in, the noise reduction, and I like it to kick in immediately. So I just leave it at at 1 millisecond, which is like super fast. And your release time is after you stop speaking and you pause, how long until the actual noise reduction kicks in again, the noise gate rather. I mean, you could leave it at the default, which I believe is like a second, which is 1000 milliseconds, but I like to leave it at 400 milliseconds. And again, that is something you need to experiment with. So anyway, let's just apply that, and we'll just play the first track again, and you can hear the difference. Your time is limited, so don't waste it living someone else's life. Don't be trapped by dogma, which is living with the results of other people's thinking. Okay, let's get that back to the beginning. Let's play the one with the noise reduction. Your time is limited, so don't waste it living someone else's life. Don't be trapped by dogma, which is living with the results of other people's thinking. Now, I don't know about you, but that sounds a lot better to me. Now, there's always ways you can improve it. Ways such as turning off all the devices in your room that you can. But for situations where that's not possible, applying those two effects, the noise gate and the noise reduction, can make the difference between bad audio and good audio. I mean, it'll never substitute for a studio with a soundproof booth and stuff, but I hope that really helped you, and I hope, your audio and your commentaries and your podcast will improve because of this tutorial. Now, I'd just like to thank you all for watching this video, and if you've got to the end, I doubly thank you because I tend to waffle on for a bit, but if you have any questions or you would like any advice on your audio, just leave me a comment in the YouTube comments or send me a private message. I'm always happy to help. And thank you again for watching. I'll see you later.